Hello everyone, I'm here with a classic set from 1990. This is the M-Tron Mega Core Magnetizer set, and I'm able to bring you this review thanks to Patreon supporter DC's Bricks and Bits. The set has 503 pieces and came with 3 identical minifigures, originally retailing for $60 US, 60, which, if you adjust for inflation, would put it at about $135 to $140 at least. Today, maybe a little bit higher than that, but probably not as high as $150. It wants to roll away. Come back to me. Now we're rolling over the minifigures. We'll get through this. But look at this thing. This was the single largest set from the entire M-Tron line. This was the one to get. This was the one that every kid who was interested in M-Tron wanted to have. And there's a good reason for that beyond the fact that it is rather large and rather colorful. You know, this is the core M-Tron look with the red, the black, and the trans neon greenish yellow there. But this has a ton of features in it, and it had the maximum number of magnet-based features as well. Using this crane up here, this is the main thing. Let's get in and look a little bit closer. That's right, I usually start from the front of a thing when I'm doing reviews, but here I need to start near the back, up at the top, because this is just so critical to all of it, and it's a good launching point for discussion of and exploration of all the features. So you're going to see a bunch of the trans neon greenish yellow, yellowish green pieces all around. These can be seen as it's going to keep wanting to roll away as well. These can be seen as little cannons, you know, little lasers for anti-air defense or also anti-personnel down on the ground. So you're just able to angle up and down. And inside of here, this is a whole rack system. So this long piece that looks kind of like a brick, but with a groove on the side, is a part that they used for a number of years around this era in a few different colors. That's a linear gear. So this has teeth on the underside of it that allows this to extend and be brought in. So at the end of this is one of these magnets that's really, really key to the whole M-Tron Magnetron thing. Magnet right there, it's able to rotate side to side and around. And let's watch. Let's take a look and see what this can do. So I'm gonna first bring it in. Just gonna retract it down over here. I get that too. There we go. And it just automatically grabbed something. And the thing that it grabbed is this little buggy. Now this can be brought around and it can be deployed down to the ground. So I'm just extending this out, and then the whole thing rotates down. So it takes the thing right down to the ground. There you do need to get your hand involved to separate it, but then it's ready to go again. So most of the action with this is handled hands off or remotely. Here from the other side. Just bring this in and it just automatically grabs that, roll it right on out. And again, the exact same thing. Now let's take a look at what that buggy actually looks like up close. There's not a whole lot to it. There's just a 2x2 space for a figure to sit there, console in front, and little lights, you know, just stuff to get it on brand with the colors. And then just all importantly, the magnet there, which is again able to swivel around and rotate this way. It does all that you need it to do for just basic transportation for scouting, but it doesn't carry any cargo on top of that. And the 2 that are included are identical. At the rear of the main build, there are a couple of locks here that can be opened up, and then these open up as well to the sides, and that leaves enough room for this ramp to come down. And there's an additional thing in here. Now, this one's a little bit difficult to get to, but you can get this kind of close. See if I can get it to actually grab under there. There we go. That works. So I just pull that out, and this is a flyer. I'm going to go ahead and put it down on the ground at this point because it's otherwise just going to hang like that. I'm just going to set it down. So that's actually kind of held in the trunk, in the boot of the main thing. It's nice that it's able to reach all the way in there though. And this again is just a basic form of transportation. Has the 2x2 space for a minifigure to be sat down there. The stuff to put it on brand with the colors. So you can see these as thrusters back here, and the all important magnet piece, which here is not able to rotate. It's just able to swivel forward and back, and that's it. There's nothing additional in there, no additional space that's particularly useful, but hey, it's not a bad use of the space. So just within this little area here, you got the flyer, and then you also got two of these things, one from each side, and they're all able to be reached from the same crane without you putting your hands on the thing until it's time to put it down on the ground. Lock that all back up. You see these as boosters to help get over, I don't know, whatever planet you're on or planetoid that you're exploring may have like big dunes and things. So these will allow you to boost and move very, very quickly. Now there's another thing. I think I can get to this right from here. There's another thing that's close by. There we go. I get a little bit better angle at looking at that. Another thing that can be picked up with the magnet. You just bring this straight in here, and if I can get it to loosen up, it's a little bit stuck in there. It's a little bit stuck right now. Typically, it is able to, you can see it's trying to pull. It just doesn't quite have the ability to pull it out. When the parts were newer, I'm sure that would have been able to come out more easily. But that pops up, and then this is just a little storage container, which had a printed front on it. That's pretty nice. And then inside of there, some of whatever those are, little crystals, I'm assuming, or something that can be used as a power source. But that's just a basic container piece, and it's integrated well enough. Always good to have cargo. Speaking of cargo, go ahead and bring this all the way out to here. This is a big old crate of cargo. Put that down on the ground here. Do the same thing again. Once again, prints. Nice print on two surfaces. Not bad for 1990. And then you open that up. A couple of consoles over here. Those are also small prints. And then just you can put some of your minifig accessories down in here. The other one is presently, so just from the other side of the whole craft. The other one has a lot more stuff in it right now. So I am assuming that this would be something used for welding, or possibly it would be a weapon. So this can be used as a backpack, right? That's a bracket piece that goes over a minifig head, so that they could grab this and be using it some way. Got a minifig accessory there. Same thing over on this side. More minifig accessories here, and then also this. So that could be used for putting out fires or doing some water blasting for some mining. A lot of different options. Use your imagination there, but this one has just a lot more stuff on it. And then while you're using these, you could put your air tanks, put your air tanks from your minifigures, which we'll look at more closely later, in here. Or you could use this to store some of the things that you pick up from the surface. With the middle cargo decks cleared right now, you've got some relatively large spaces. You could use these easily as landing spots for other flyers, small flyers, including the one that's in the set. You might need to change this out just a little bit to better accommodate and have something be held in place, but that can be used for that. Second coolest thing about this, in my opinion, is the way that when it articulates, this moves. See, this is actually moving at twice the angular velocity of the articulation joint in the center. And it's really cool. You have to build it. I recommend if you want to see that. I don't want to spoil it right now, but if you want to see exactly how that works, look at the instructions. You just look up the part name, or excuse me, the set number or name, and instructions, the word instructions, and you'll find that. Really simple techniques, but nice geometry there that works. And then finally, this can be pulled up, and then that provides access to the front, which just rotates forward. Also, how this is attached in here at a 45-degree angle is pretty nice. Studs on the side construction, from a relatively early age of that. And the interior space is able to hold 3 minifigures. So all of the minifigures in the set can fit right here in tandem. So like probably a commander, maybe navigator, and then pilot or driver down here, who gets these 2 controls, tank style controls, and a couple of consoles are in there, and that's just that. Also a couple of minifig accessory holders back here. You got the classic radio bits. Radio bits. Like I said, the minifigs are all identical, at least they should be. There's a possibility that there may have been a substitution between a couple very, very slight, just over the age of this set. It's very common. Very slight variations between some of the heads and the prints from different eras. But I think these are just about correct with the second generation helmets, the same ones that are used to this day. The first generation air tanks back there in black, and then the trans neon greenish yellow color for the visor. For each of these, there you see the block style head. Let's see. Let's see. Are these going to be there we go. That one I think is different. Yeah, this is the older block style of head. There was overlap also. You can see just a slightly different shape. This is more squarish. It was a little bit more rounded. There was some overlap, and I've only seen conflicting reports about which came first or when they were overlapping and stuff like that. But it is interesting to see that little subtle difference from time to time. Thanks again to DC's Bricks and Bits on Patreon for making this possible. I've heard so many people who were kids in the early 90s speak very, very highly of this set, but it's very valuable today for good reason. And I always looked at it and looked at pictures and was like, yeah, that looks very cool, because there are a lot of things about it that draw me in personally. I like the big wheels. I like the fact that it has a short chassis and there's not much to its space beyond the wheels. There's just so much of it, it's just tires. And the fact that it uses an articulated chassis is nice. I like this windscreen piece here. I like the fact that it had different bits and things that can move around, but I never really understood just how good the magnet system was, how well designed this crane was. For example, it looked really simple to me, but the alignment of everything is so good. The fact that you can so easily just pick a thing up. You just put it there and it just picks it up. And these on the sides, these are the ones that really got me. I had no idea that was going to work. That I didn't need to line that up by hand. I didn't need to cheat that and then just put it down on the ground. Like, this is okay, it's not able to put things down on the ground over here, but it just always puts things down on the ground in the back. And that's fine. It's so good. Also, again, the building techniques used for this, the thing on top turning the way that it does, and also the connection point for the front, pretty advanced for its day. Really nice parts usage. So I'm super impressed by this. And I feel very fortunate to have been able to check it out. I'm so glad that I finally get it. I finally understand. Of course, I wasn't a kid who had M-Tron stuff in the early 90s. I was getting into my teens, and also didn't have any Lego at that time. And I also used to look at longingly Lego catalogs in the 80s. So this was not from my era in any way, shape, or form. So I can't fully grasp the feelings of folks who are really into the M-Tron stuff. But as an outsider, I very much get it. And as a fan of Lego, toys, of sci-fi, of space sci-fi in particular, yes, I get it a lot. Kind of motivates me to want to get other stuff from the M-Tron series now. I only ever reviewed the one little small buggy that they did and nothing else. This is at the opposite end. I feel like anything in between is going to be, well, by me, it's going to be compared to this, and it's not going to be as good. But I'm very curious. We'll see if I can line up some more vintage reviews from this series. But one last time, thank you, DC's Bricks and Bits. This is awesome. Love all the prints here. Really fun stuff. Hope that you've enjoyed it as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.